Congratulations to Eskan Bank on the award for Best Customer Service Provider of the Year, Middle East. Many congratulations.
Thank you very much, Simon. I accept this with utmost honor, and I would like to dedicate this was because of the hard work of all the employees of the bank and because of the inspirational guidance that we receive from our chairman, the Minister of Housing. And also I'd like to acknowledge our executive team members for their dedication and hard work. I'm very happy to receive this, and I'd like to dedicate it to all the employees of the bank. Through their perseverance, together we are achieving so much. Thank you very much.
Many congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's start with your working relationship, I suppose, with the Bahrain government. Are there any instances when your objectives are not completely aligned with that of the government? And if so, how do you handle that?
Luckily, today we are very much in sync with government's overall objectives. And we are doing that through maintaining a very close relationship with the Ministry of Housing, whom we consider as our senior partner. And through close relationship, we maintain synergies in terms of what we do. And that's why our work becomes more complementary rather than competitive or redundant sometimes. At some point in time, Eskan Bank had activities that we can label as commercial. Over the last few years, we have refocused the core business toward the social agenda, which is set by the government and manifested by the objectives of the Ministry of Housing. So today we are working very closely and complementing. We are acting as the flexible financial arm to the government when it comes to the social housing agenda.
And the other side of that is obviously the private sector and getting them involved. So what methods does Eskan Bank use to get the private sector involvement in social housing?
I think the word respect maybe sums up our approach. Initially, I come from a private sector, so we know what is the private sector's objectives. We approach these objectives with utmost sensitivity, and we do dialogue and work out, and sometimes we go out of our way to secure what they are looking for as objectives. And frankly, they do appreciate sometimes even the effort, even if they had to compromise a little bit on the rate of return, for example. Whenever we meet them, we ask them direct what sort of rate you'll be looking for. And then we work together. Sometimes it will be a little bit lower, but they know because we have mitigated the risk, it is more secure. So we speak their language, and we do engage in a partnership spirit whereby it is a win-win kind of, we secure a win-win relationship rather than turning it into a battlefield where somebody tries to overpower the others. Actually, we inject a lot of this comrade spirit without losing sight of the overall objective, that is return and profitability. That's why I think we've been quite successful to attract local private sectors. And for our future endeavors, we started tapping into the international financial sector, and we are very pleased with the kind of response we are getting.
Now, you've used the word relationship there, and if we think about kind of customer service, your customers include the public, the private sector, and the government. How difficult is it to design comprehensive customer-based solutions when you've got so many different customer bases in a way, so many different strands which have little in common with each other?
It appears that they have very little in common compared to each other. But when actually we do conduct our business, we find there is a lot of common objective. For example, the government objective is to see Bahraini citizens staying in the comfort of good housing unit, and they would like to see good access to financing programs. So we consider private financial institutions, private developer as our partners. So in attaining the objective, working out a solution together, we are making the government happy to achieve its objective. The private sector investor, whether it's financial or developer, are happy. And the customer at the end of the day who is enjoying this service is also happy. We do adopt a 360-degree view in approaching our clients, whether it is individual or supplier or the government for that matter, because it injects certain level of lending ourselves to the cause and to the service. And until now it has been successful. It is not entirely compatible. There sometimes appears conflict in terms of maybe they like to cut corners in terms of the quality, but overall it's complementary. And once you manage to lead people to see the bigger picture, the nitty-gritty and the small skirmishes subside.
Now, talking about kind of quality, one of the aims of the Timur program has been to encourage apartment-style living amongst first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think the population traditionally has been so averse to that type of housing? And have you seen more of a kind of uptake since you've launched that program?
We have the traditional line of thinking of inheriting to your children a plot of land has been prevailing. And actually, this is a cause of a lot of problems that we've seen, whereby different children have entitlement to small plot in the house, and this causes a lot of feud sometimes between the family itself. We are trying to alleviate this thinking into the more rational thinking of tying affordability and requirements to make them move hand in hand. And we want to inject more rationality in the financial planning in terms of attaining a house. We are in no position to deny people the dream of having a house. And actually we want to promote that. But we want them to approach it in a sensible manner that doesn't put them under immense financial pressure that might affect even the quality of the life that they will be living. So our slogan, Tumuh, is that apartment is your best route toward having a house or a villa. And that is because in the initial stages, people requirements are very limited, especially when we are talking about the young families. And they need, rather than overburden themselves, they can spend this money much wisely on the child education, whereby if they go to good school, to good university, they will be in a position to acquire 3 units rather than the unit that inherited. And luckily, we found quite an amazing positive response among the young generation Bahrainis. And we are trying to develop the pull factor. There is a big push factor, and that is to have to wait for so many years to get a house, access to a house. And we are trying, or we succeeded in developing the pull factors, whereby our new developments, we are not in the business of developing pigeonholes, cement pigeonholes. We are in the business of building communities with all the amenities and facilities that are positively energized, and whereby we approach building this unit as if we are building them for our children. So we approach it with utmost respect to their aspiration. And we've seen quite a remarkable uptake among this target group. Our latest development, which is 164 apartment, it was picked up in less than a month time. And another development whereby we have 84 units, we have pending application, fourfolds the development. So it shows that people are becoming more rational in their approach.
And it's almost like they're adopting that kind of first step on the property ladder approach much more so than before.
We want to introduce a concept that is very much prevailing here, which is the first-time buyer and engaging in upgrades throughout his career.
Now, I know that you're also facing an interesting challenge, which is the launch of the Real Estate Investment Trust. What opportunities do you see opening up for Eskan and Bahraini citizens from the launch of this trust?
This will be the first time that an Islamic REIT is launched in Bahrain, and it would be liquid as it will be listed on the stock exchange from day one. And I have to acknowledge the support that we received from the central bank in this respect. And we're aiming at launching in the coming couple of weeks. I think for Eskan Bank is to provide a fantastic opportunity to offload the non-core properties. Our focus is on residential real estate, but as part of developing such communities, we have to develop mixed use. So we have commercial building, we have shop, we have even malls coming up. And the REIT provide us a nice exit route to through which we will get refunded and we can use such liquidity again in social housing. But also it offers a fantastic opportunity to the people, to the citizens, to acquire these units of REIT whereby you have kind of secured returns. And we are aiming at the retail, so we have reduced the minimum to 500 BD, which is almost 1,000 pound, so that the retail sector have access to this good quality asset. And we are promising a return, an annual return that is close to 7, which is in today's low interest environment considered a very generous return. Again, we see in it as a win-win. The REIT will be opened even for third parties to offload their properties, of course subject to very stringent due diligence of fair pricing.
Now, I mean, listening to you, it's very clear that Eskan Bank shifted its focus away from retail banking during the last few years and with a really sharp focus on affordable housing. How much has that shift changed the way banking is conducted on a day-to-day basis?
I think to a large part we remain a retail bank in terms of serving, I would say, a special purpose retail bank whereby our focus is social mortgages. But we've seen a growth in investment banking as we engage more and more private sector. So our activity in structuring and financial innovation has been increasing tremendously. Today we are engaging private sector on a daily basis for projects, social housing, affordable housing projects. So there is kind of a change in the focus of our activities. I think our people in retail banking are doing fantastic job. The approval rate that I see are fantastic. You have more than 95 approval rate of the level of customer service that people are getting. But we are focusing on extending our customer service beyond the meet and greet into developing solutions whereby we are engaging more in financial structuring, so the investment banking side is growing more.
Now, we talked about that kind of behaviour change in terms of that first step on the property ladder. Does the same kind of change take place in terms of perception within Bahrain about affordable housing? Do you think there's been a shift in the way people view affordable housing?
Actually, we've seen that. Affordable housing, like, for example, the perception of council houses in Britain, Usually they were approached somehow with certain negativity. And probably this was the case. But today we are seeing that the Ministry of Housing taking lead in developing units, very spacious apartments, 200-meter apartments, with all the amenities. The design of the houses, much thought has been given in terms of how to create a very welcoming for the family atmosphere. And at the same way, we at Eskan Bank, in approaching our developments programs, whether they are vertical or horizontal development, we are trying to create this positive feeling of a spacious, of having all the amenities, whereby you have a very healthy community in a place. So we are seeing now a class of people, segments of people that I would call upper middle class adopting these units, which is a great sign to see.
Now, the other question we always ask in these interviews is about technology, banking technology. How do you ensure that Eskan Bank remains at the forefront of banking technology?
I'm not sure about the forefront, but definitely when it comes to serving our customers. I have always seen technology as a great enabler, and our focus is on how to generate value out of technology. So that's why we are amid toward the end of finalizing, testing our new core banking system, which would turn our system to more agile, given that we have a specific requirement that sometimes vary from the standard commercial bank requirements due to the various programs of social housing administered by the government in Bahrain. So we do see in technology as an enabler toward a more agile organization in terms of responding to changes. We are also in the initial stages, I would say, of developing Eskan Bank's app, whereby our customer base would be able to interact with various services. Also, we would like to make use of it as a marketing tool, especially that will be going into thousands of units from the hundreds that everybody is used to. We are also revamping our site toward more dynamic. Today, customers are exposed and they have developed huge expectations in terms of how IT serves them. And we are trying to fulfill such expectations.
And behind all of these developments is the kind of culture of the bank itself. How would you describe that culture, and how does it determine how things get done within Eskan Bank?
I think a lot of the culture DNA, so to speak, stems from the vision and mission of the bank, and also from the core values that we agreed in a participatory manner with all the employees were involved. And we did identify 4 important core values that have influenced the shape of the bank and the prevailing culture. And we have as a top priority integrity, whereby we insist on 100%. We think that 99% integrity doesn't belong to Eskan Bank. And then the culture of ownership, whereby people assume ownership for the task. And ownership here doesn't stop at sending the email or doing the follow-up call. It is actually seeing the task through. We adopted the notion that 99% completion is no completion. It has to be 100% completion. So we've seen the level of people assuming ownership, which translated itself in the results achieved. We also adopted respect as a huge value that's impacting the bank today. We approach customer service with a profound respect of the aspiration of our customer. Hence, we go beyond, we go to the root causes, try to come up with a solution. So respect also in approaching the customer in every manner, and innovation. And we are seeing quite a bit of that in various, sometimes it is in a small thing that has to do with how you reuse the papers, to innovation in financial structuring that would serve the social housing agenda in Bahrain.
Now, you mentioned the importance of your partnership with people like the Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Finance. How has working with them benefited Eskan Bank?
I think it's benefiting us tremendously, mainly in terms of showing us, providing us with a guideline of, so we make sure that our campus is right. Our continuous and close work with the Ministry of Housing ensures that all our efforts are dedicated toward the main agenda of the government of Bahrain, and that is to see the waiting list shrink and provide all the solutions to people that enable them to access their houses. And Ministry of Finance, as an overall supervisor of the government financial affairs, also we seek guideline in terms of what is possible and not possible, which helps us in putting together our financing structures. For example, today we are seeing a lot of people interested in engaging in developing social housing. I'm talking here about foreign direct investment without a sovereign guarantee or a buyback guarantee from the government. And I think this is due to Bahrain's long stance as very secure. We haven't have an incident of default over the period. There was no delay in all commitment. This soundness of how to manage public fund has enabled us to engage foreign direct investment without these sweeteners, and they've accepted because they believe in our agenda and rationale. So through this close relationship, we are managing to structuring a program with least cost to everybody.
And I mean, you're talking about the kind of foreign investment. Do you see foreign investment becoming a significant factor in terms of the development of affordable housing?
Actually, in our future focus is on foreign direct investment. Currently, we have 5 major initiatives by Bahrain standard in terms of social housing projects, and we are structuring all of them through partnership with foreign direct investment. We've been particularly pleased when we have issued a teaser into the market about the first of these projects, and we had results that were overwhelmingly pleasantly surprising in terms of people interest in working in Bahrain and with Eskan Bank on social housing. So yes, our focus is, we already are seeing a lot of foreign direct investment in a smaller project of 500 and 1,000 units. But when we launched the project of 4,200 units, we had a fantastic response, which would be reinforcing our effort in this regard. So yes, I think we'll see a lot of foreign direct investment to the social housing sector in Bahrain.
Now, we always like to kind of explore our guests' CSR credentials. And I know, for example, some of the developments, your solar power, use of LED lighting is a way of kind of reducing costs, ongoing running costs and things. Are there any recent successful CSR projects that you'd like to highlight?
I would consider that our core engagement is of CSR nature. I don't see anything more CSR than providing housing to the needy, to people. I don't see anything more CSR than coming up with a program that secure access to finance to people who are less privileged and enable them to access their units. So we are fortunate to engage in CSR as a core business. But beyond that, we also do engage in many CSR. And I would like to engage in an initiative where we generate value also out of it. I think Eskan Bank Award for Innovative Engineering now is running into its 4th year. It has been a very successful program whereby we are targeting young engineers, try to equip them with the right skill and vision and approach. And we are seeing a lot of promising young Bahraini engineers adopting these values, and we like to spread them throughout the sector. Also, we have donated a 3D printer to the university to make the life of these students much easier. And we are seeing a lot of models developed by these students. Whenever we approach CSR, we like to see a value generated, social value generated. Of course, the employees of the bank engage in so many activities of raising funds to needies of different nature of needs.
And finally, thinking about kind of the next 3-year period, what are the major objectives you hope Eskan Bank will achieve?
We'd like to see ourselves playing more active role and contributing in government's objective and fulfilling its promises of delivering the housing units and programs to the citizens of Bahrain. I'll see ourselves working even closer with the Ministry of Housing, where we get our inspiration from His Excellency, the Minister of Housing, who is the chairman of our board. We see ourselves moving in terms of development to areas that are not very closely to social housing, but of a lot of meaning to Bahrain development, of developmental nature. I see us playing a role in that respect. I see us benchmarking for the new developments in Bahrain in terms of the green aspect and sustainability. I see ourselves to be an established regional name when it comes to social housing, whether in terms of financial structuring of the program or the actual development of the units.
A lot to look forward to, and
Yes.
thank you very much indeed for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.